Hello everyone, today we are taking a look at the 6.2 or Luna 3 Abyss rotation, what enemies we have, how to defeat them, and what are the best teams you can play to clear the fastest. As it is with recent Abyss rotations, the selected enemies very much favor the featured 5-star characters, and it is not different this time either. In 12.1.1 we have 5 waves of 5 max scout units. Luckily a new one spawns after one is defeated and you don't have to defeat all 5 in a wave for the next ones to spawn. These enemies have no elemental restrictions, but you can do yourself a favor if you play characters that have grouping in their kit, like Kazuha or Venti, or that deal AoE damage, and definitely don't play characters with knockback like Jean, and try to avoid playing Overload. After all 25 are down, you will have to face 5 waves of 3 Fatu Cryo Sissin mages. These enemies have higher cryo res, so I won't recommend playing cryo characters against them. Although I've seen a few Mel teams defeat these enemies, and I also cleared with Skirk Freeze against them. However, if you defeat the Sissins, they spawn, and don't defeat the mages for a while, they will get a cryo shield, so I would recommend playing Pyro against them. Finally, we have the Excavation Specialist mech, a bit of soul target action, luckily no elemental restrictions. In 12.2.1 we have 3 of the new Luna 1 Fatu enemies, 2 Kairagi, a Ruin Guard and a Ruin Drake. You might want a bit of grouping against the first 2 waves, but other than that, this is the easiest chamber in this floor 12 rotation. In 12.3.1 we have the new Mechanized Fortress boss, which needs 120 instances of pyro application to fill its bar. Then it gets a cryo shield that you also have to break to stun it for 15 seconds. While the bar is filled to less than 50%, the boss has insane elemental resistances. It basically doesn't take any damage. When the bar reaches 50%, the res drops and you can deal some real damage. Finally, after the shield is broken, the boss loses 30% current health and the elemental res drops to negative amounts, so you have a 15 seconds long window to deal insane damage. If you can't clear in one cycle, the boss resets to a 0% bar. Also, if you can't break the cryo shield in time, the boss also resets to a 0% bar. As you can see, the 12-1 enemy is the most restrictive, so we have to build our teams around it. My recommended teams are Burning, Burgeon, Vaporize, Pyro Swirl, especially with the Durin Venti combo, maybe Melt or Burn Melt. Just deal as much Pyro as you can and have some grouping or AoE damage. Here you can see the teams that I have played so far. If you are struggling, you can also clear different chambers with different teams, like you clear 12.1.1 and 12.2.1 with 3 stars with a team, and then you reset, maybe only get 2 stars in these chambers with the other team, but you clear 12.3.1 with 3 stars. For this, I would recommend playing Skirk Freeze in the first 2 chambers, as it is one of the fastest teams there. It just takes 2.5 minutes to clear 12.3.1 with it, so I don't recommend it for the whole clear. Let's take a look at the second half now. In 12.1.2 we have 2 of the Nutland Weasels. These enemies start the fight by digging themselves into the ground. With every plunge we do against them, we break 25% of their shield. This means we either play plunge teams against them, or we full send with some of the highest DPS teams against them. My recommendations for the plunge teams are Xiao, Versa, Gaming, or characters that work well with Shenyan as a plunge DPS, like Hutao, Navia, or maybe even Diluc. You can also do some of the following techs, either play Auroron or Citlali to hover up into the air and plunge down. You can do something similar with Moika too if you fly up in her skill form when she's on the bike. You can also use a Chaska skill to hover up into the air, and when you press it to get down, you can just plunge from it, and that also can break. You can also try playing Catching or one of her copies, Alhaitam, Aino, Cherry or Lanyan, to aim your skill up in the sky and plunge down to break some of the shield. You can break twice the amount if you use sacrificial weapon on them and hit the enemy with your skill. You can also do a Kazuha skill or a Venti skill to go up and plunge down. You can also try using some pillars or constructs to climb, like Zhongli, Geo Traveler or Albedo skills. You can also plunge from a Shilonen skill. Some characters can jump after doing some collision damage or something. Most Claymore characters and Raiden can do it, but I was never really able to replicate this. For the pure DPS clear, I would recommend Skirk Freeze, Nefer Lunar Bloom, and Mawika Melt. This enemy has higher Pyro res, so watch out for that when you play Pyro characters against it. In 12.2.2 we have 2 Phantasms. I have Never heard anyone call them this, by the way. Basically, we have two Oceanites, so I don't recommend playing Hydro characters against them. Everything else is fine. Sure, you can still clear this chamber with Hydro teammates on your team. I even managed to do it with double Hydro teams, so it's possible. In 12-3-2, we have the Veteran Arithmetic Enhancer mech. This boss enhances jump height in a radius, meaning you can do plunge attack against this enemy. You will need to use this to your advantage, because you will have to break its shield by plunging with sword, claymore or polearm characters. Other ways you can break the shield are with geo attacks or triggering overload. This means you want at least one character with one of the three weapon types, and preferably someone who can trigger one of those reactions or do geo attacks. All in all, your best bet on the second half is a plunge team. Something like Shao Hyper Carry, Veresa Overload, Gaming Overload or Melt, and plunge teams with Shenyan like Hudao Plunge or Navia Plunge can make your life a lot easier on this half. Other notable teams that don't involve any plunging are Neferlunar Boom and Skirk Freeze. You can also just put Shenyan in a team where her being an Animal Catalyst who can sword with a normal attack gives her value for the other chambers after 12-1-2 are also playable, like Fadla Hyper Carry or Raiden Hyper Carry. You can also do the same stuff as on the first half, where you clear 12-1-2 with a plunge team and then reset for a different team to play in 12-2 and 12-3. Thank you for watching, I hope this video was helpful, and let me know if you would like to see more of these Abyss breakdowns, maybe a bit earlier into the season, but yeah. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back with an Imaginary Theater clear on the 1st of the new year.